Roasted potatoes are just about the best side dish there is because they just go with everything. They're a great side with chicken, beef, pork, pasta. Okay, not pasta, but just about everything else. This recipe is so versatile. You can use fresh herbs, you can use dried herbs, or you can combine them. You can easily change up the herb and spice combination depending on what you're serving. Pretty much any potato will do, except for russet or baking. And why? Well, personally, I find that those two potatoes lose their texture too easily and they just kind of become pasty. As for peeling them, it's up to you. I like to keep the peel on for two reasons. It's easier, and if it doesn't compromise the recipe, I always go with easier. And the other reason is I like the texture of the skin because it gives the outside an added crispiness. So, let's get started with our crispy on the outside but creamy on the inside roasted potatoes. Okay, so we're going to start. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our potatoes into wedges. So this is what we do. We cut the potato in half, right down the middle. And then all we have to do is at an angle, go one cut, two cuts, and that's that. And if there's any eyes at the end, just cut them off. No big deal. Done. All right. Oh, there's another one. Let's get rid of that too. Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to put those in water. I'll explain the water in a minute. Let's just cut the final one at an angle, and there we go. Oh, good. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to soak them for about 20 to 30 minutes in cold water. What that's going to do is it's going to pull out some of the starch, and that's going to make for a crispier potato when they're done. So let's get these soaking for about 20 or 30 minutes, and we'll come back. Okay, they've been soaking for about 25 minutes at this point. I've drained the water out. Now what I want to do is I want to dry these potatoes really, really well. So I'm going to use a towel to do that. Okay. And I'm just going to dry them just by hand here and try and get as much water as possible off. I think I've got all the water off as much as I possibly can. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump them back in the bowl. There we go. Good. And now we're just going to make them all spicy and happy. All right, so what we're going to start with is the olive oil. And we're going to give them a really good coat, okay? Let's give them a toss. Okay, coated in olive oil now. And now we're just going to put in the rest of the ingredients. So we have fresh rosemary, we have fresh thyme, and we have fresh parsley. You can sub with dried for sure, just go half. So if you're putting we put a tablespoon of rosemary, just put half of that. So we're going to sprinkle it all on. Get it all in there. Garlic powder, sprinkle that on. And salt and pepper, and sprinkle that on. Okay, now we're going to give it a toss again. Get it really well coated, get it all in there. Good. Okay, perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put them on a sheet pan. So I've done my parchment paper. Why? Because I don't really want to clean the pan that hard, and parchment paper makes our life so much easier. So I'm going to put the potatoes on the parchment and get all of those wonderful spices and make sure I got all of it. Okay, so now I'm going to shake it out a little bit, but really what I want to do is I just want to have one layer. So I'm just going to make sure that we've got one layer going. I've got a 425-degree oven going. It should be ready for us to pop them in as soon as I finish getting them in one layer. Okay, they're in one layer. They're going to go in the 425-degree oven for 40 minutes. We're going to go halfway, about 20 minutes in, give them a toss, give them a turn, flip them all over, and then put them back in for another 20 minutes. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, it took about 25 minutes for me to want to take them out and flip them over. So that's what we're going to do now. Oh, look at that beautiful browning. Okay, so now we're going to pop them back in the oven for another 20-25 minutes. Depends on your oven. Okay, we've got them out of the oven. Look at how beautiful and golden they are. So, now here's the test. We're going to get Richard in here, get him to give it a try.
Get out of the way. Now, I'm a pretty tough customer.
No, you're not.
I'm spoiled is what I am. All right. What am I tasting? A creamy inner potato, a crunchy, explosive flavor on the outside, and it's a simple potato. Are you kidding me? Actually, it is that good. This is a symphony of a potato. You know what? Shall? It's a masterpiece. It's a simple potato, but that's what makes a simple recipe so extraordinary. And you know what? If you put this next to a steak, next to some chicken or whatever, your guests might slide that off and go crazy on the potatoes. These are that good.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. They're good. Finish this one off. 1, 2. What are the fucking chances of that?